Well, good morning, Port City Church. I'm realizing where I position my iPhone, I've got this like halo crown over my head. You got to work with what you got, you know? Welcome to my office over here at our McGrath campus. So happy and honored to spend part of Monday morning with you for our 738 devotional. If you've been following along with us, we're doing a 10-day series through our Bible app, and it's called He is Risen, a 10-day Easter devotional. So we spent days 1 through 5 last week, Monday through Friday. Today starts day 6 through 10. It's going to take us right into Good Friday. So hopefully you've already got the Bible app on your phone and you've been following along with the reading plan. I encourage you at some point today, read the devotional portion of this. I'm going to focus on the scripture passage that's for our reading for today. And he says, this is in Luke chapter 18, verses 35 to 43. He says, as he drew near to Jericho, a blind man was sitting by the roadside begging. And hearing the crowd going by, he inquired what this meant. They told him, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. And he cried out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Those who were in front rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he cried out all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus stopped and commanded him to be brought to him. There's something I just want to highlight here that I'll come back to in a second. And when Jesus came near, he asked him, what do you want me to do for you? He said, Lord, let me recover my sight. Jesus said to him, recover your sight. Your faith has made you well. And immediately he recovered his sight and followed him, glorifying God. And all the people, when they saw it, gave praise to God. What a fantastic story to think about as we're leading up to the events of Easter and a big celebration this weekend, that Jesus is here once again, showing up, meeting people where they're at in their brokenness and bringing healing and restoration. A couple of things I want to highlight in this passage here is that Jesus always makes himself available. Anytime you read through the Gospels and there's somebody who's broken, somebody who's just beaten down, somebody who is in desperation and they cry out for Jesus, we always see him stop and turn and respond and be readily available. And since we know that Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever, we know that that's true of him today still. That when we come to those points where the anxiety is creeping in, we might have a good day one day, and then the next day we might feel, man, this is crushing. The weight, I'm starting to feel the weight of this thing that's around us. Crying out to Jesus, knowing he's readily available. He's not busy. He's not going to tell you, get in line, stay 6 feet apart. He says, come to me. In one of his charges to his people, come to me when you are burdened, when you are heavy laden, means you're carrying a heavy load. Let's switch loads. I'll give you my rest and I'll carry your burden. And so that's the first thing that I notice, is that Jesus is always available. Notice what I circled here when I stopped, that when the beggar, blind Bartimaeus, is crying out to Jesus, it says many rebuked him. I don't know if you've seen this in times like today, especially as we just spend so much time on social media. There's a lot of people rebuking Christ followers. And they might say, oh, you can't find hope in prayer. You can't find hope in your God. There's only hope in medicine and in our scientists doing their work and coming up with a cure. So we're going to face that rebuke. We're going to face that opposition. But knowing that Jesus is still present, Jesus is still powerful. Whether it's blindness like this man here, whether it's our own desperation, discouragement, whether it's other sickness and illness, whether it's our burden of anxiety and depression, he's got power over that. The other thing I want to point out is that this guy is all us, right? Maybe we're not blind, but we certainly do have other forms of blindness, spiritual blindness. We have ways in which we have these things blocking our peripherals where we don't get full picture, and we need Jesus to come in and give us better perspective. So my encouragement as we're continuing to walk into this, I think we're in like week 5 now of the coronavirus crisis, that we would be doing just this, opening our Bibles, turning to him, falling back on him, crying out to him, Jesus, meet me where I am. And you're allowed to be honest with him. He can handle it. He can handle our frustration.